Is that my camera? Are you looking for money, kids? Do you want to bilk a one-time millionaire out of whatever he has left from his Jay and Silent Bob dynasty and fortune?
How many
Play me like a fiddle.
How many times have you thought in your lifetime of quitting the business? Of quitting directing.
489,000.
No, but I know you thought
quitting the business?
Yeah.
There's one point where I was talking about retiring after Red State because I saw Steven Soderbergh talk about retiring. I was like, that's a fucking possibility. Like nobody ever said that. Like, oh my God, yeah, I guess you could just like stop and be like, that's something that I used to do. So I became kind of enamored of that idea, and retired. I took 3 years off essentially. I thought I was just like done, but then doing a podcast with Scott Mosier, my friend who I did this podcast with, and he produced the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
We did an episode called The Walrus and the Carpenter, episode 259. And that was where Tusk came from.
Right.
And so then I was like, well, I'm going to write this as a podcast and write this podcast as a script. And then suddenly I was like, you know, nobody's going to make this but me. I guess I'm back. And so I came back to Tusk, had such a blast doing it that I was like, well, maybe this is how you survive in this business. Just make the shit you want to make. And that means like, you know, I don't have the luxury of just telling the world, I want to do this. And the world's like, okay. Generally, it means that you have to modify your expectations. Best piece of advice I can give anybody in this life, let alone young creatives, is modify your expectations. Nothing wrong with that. You know, a lot of people in this business are like, you can't compromise. You got a vision. As a director, I'm supposed to talk about my vision and how, like, you know, we have to pursue that to the ends. Justify the ends and telling the story. I don't fucking subscribe to that by any stretch of the imagination. I'm easy to work with because I know how to be pliable. Like if somebody's giving you money to make a movie, you can't be like, hey, fuck you, man. I got my story to tell. I got my vision. You got to hear them out. If it works, you adapt that into what you're doing. If you can't, then you make your case and, you know, hope that maybe you could accommodate somewhere down the line. You know, and a lot of folks in my line of work would be like, you can't ever fucking compromise. Once you got the money, fuck them all. I don't feel that way, man. Especially because like my job is so fucking goofy, which is if I was if I could self-express in another way, it'd be so much cheaper. Like if I was a singer, I'd open up my mouth and you'd hear what I was singing. And you'd know how I felt. If I was a painter, I'd take that blank canvas, throw some color on it, and there would be my self-expression. But I chose directing, which is like the dumbest form of self-expression, where you say things like, I need to self-express. Give me $25 million and Ben Affleck, or I can't do the job. So you find different ways to kind of, ameliorate over time.
Yeah.
You
that
find
means to
ways
become better.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, truly.
Yes.
Ultimately it does.
Yes.
And so some people hear this and they're like, you can't compromise. You can't bend. If you bend, that's when they get you. It's not true at all, man. It's not about bending. It's not about compromise. It's about modifying expectations. Case in point, I'm married to a beautiful woman 25 years now and shit. And I guarantee you when she was in fucking high school and college, banging way fucking better looking dudes than me, she was not going like, man, I hope I marry a fucking dude who wears hockey jerseys and weighs 330 fucking pounds one day. But we met, she fell in love with me, and she was like, you know what? Not what I was looking for, but I will modify my expectations.
Wow.
And because of that, we've been together
Good
like 25
analogy.
years. Thank you.